Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ&A Video, the official Q&A video series for NoDQ.com, right here on NoDQ.com, of course, NoDQ&A Video's affiliate, ringsidenews.com, and the YouTube channel, youtube.com/NoDQ&AV. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just posted the first New Talk Wrestling this week with Rob Van Dam. More of those videos coming, in addition to the usual NoDQ&A videos. So subscribe, tell a friend about NoDQ&A Video. Got your questions here, which you can submit at spring.me/Aaron Rift. Let's get started today with the first one from Kai BF. Guys can really benefit from the 5-on-5 Survivor Series tag team match if booked properly. Look at Roman Reigns from last year. With that being said, in addition to Dolph Ziggler, someone like Ryback could get a nice rub from being on Cena's team. Who else do you see competing in this match? And I also have a question from Trey JC27. Do you think Triple H will lead Team Authority at Survivor Series? Cheers. First off, I have my concerns about John Cena's team and people getting the rub from John Cena because I think that there's a very good chance John Cena will be the sole survivor of his match. I don't see John Cena's team losing, let's put it that way. I've talked about this in previous prediction videos. It's hard to bet against John Cena, and I've learned that the hard way as recent as Hell in a Cell. I was wrong about that prediction. I think with Survivor Series, this is clearly being built up as a filler match until John Cena challenges Brock Lesnar for the WWE title. So John Cena is going to look as strong as possible now that he's the #1 contender. Don't see him losing. I think the match is going to be built around him, and he's the focal point. I think it's going to be really hard for anybody to get a rub off of John Cena because it's going to be the John Cena show at Survivor Series. So you could put Ryback on there, but if anything, that could do him more harm than good unless he's the one survivor next to John Cena. Dolph Ziggler ain't going to be getting anything. He's not going to be getting any kind of rub. And if he is on John Cena's team, which it's looking like based off of Raw, I think he'll be eliminated fairly quickly, just knowing how WWE operates. And regarding Triple H leading Team Authority, I suppose he could get in the ring and be part of that match. But once again, I don't see this match as a high priority. And I think Triple H is only going to wrestle for major shows. Now, WWE is doing this whole deal where they're offering Survivor Series for free on the network, and maybe they'll want to put Triple H in there to try to generate some buzz and get people talking, and maybe they will want to deliver a solid show for Survivor Series. I think it's a good idea to make Survivor Series a big deal, considering the fact that they're really desperate to boost up the network subscriptions, and they are going to want people to commit on a monthly basis now that there's no more 6-month commitment. So maybe it would be a good idea to put Triple H in that match and have him lead Team Authority against John Cena because there's not that many credible opponents to go up against John Cena. I'm suspecting that Seth Rollins will have a match with Randy Orton one-on-one. It is possible that they will be put into that match, but I think it would be best to have them go at it one-on-one and have Dean Ambrose go against Bray Wyatt one-on-one. So what other top heels do you have? Triple H would make logical sense. So I think I actually would have Triple H compete in that match. I think it's better than somebody like Kane being the leader of Team Authority. If Kane's the leader, then that match is just a complete joke. Nobody's going to believe that John Cena has a chance of losing that match with Kane as the leader. I don't think people would believe it with Triple H, but I think it would give the match a little bit more credibility. All right, this one comes from Awesome's W69514. Greetings from Michigan, Aaron. Why does Billy Jack Haynes hate Vince so much? Also, do you think he will get destroyed in a lawsuit he has against WWE? Please answer in video. We tend to see this a lot with old-time WWE superstars. Some of them tend to be bitter. You look at superstar Billy Graham, and they end up working with Vince down the line. Billy Jack Haynes is a guy who had a brief period of success in WWE. He was at WrestleMania 3, but then he kind of just disappeared and fell into oblivion And one thinks that maybe this is his way of trying to get his name out there, and he's doing it to draw attention to himself. Who really knows? I mean, I think that WWE probably could have had better standards and practices back in the day, and they could have treated their performers better, and they've really made improvements in recent years. But at the same time, even back then, you knew what you were getting yourself into. You knew the risks you were taking, getting in the ring and doing that stuff, and doing the blading, and all the things that happened in WWE. You knew what you were getting yourself into. There weren't any surprises, and if you don't do it, somebody else will come along and they'll be willing to do it for the fame. So I really don't think that his lawsuit is going to go anywhere. I don't think that it's going to be seen as credible. That's just my gut feeling on it. I think that WWE will be able to get away with this unscathed, but you never know. I think it's going to be thrown out, but anything's possible. All right, this one comes from Richie Gore 66. Hi, Aaron. When did you start to notice the women's division going downhill? And why did the company decide to get rid of the women's championship and go with the Divas title? Please answer in video. Thanks. To me, the Divas division peaked with Trish Stratus and Lita as the top stars, and when you had Ivory and you had Mickie James in there and Victoria. That was when the women's division was at its best. I feel that once Trish and Lita left the company, that's when it really began to go downhill, and that was around the same time also that WWE was starting to hire models and try to turn those models into wrestlers. When they were bringing in the Candice Michelles and the Bella Twins. I mean, that's when it really started to go downhill, in my opinion, when they brought in Kelly and all these women that were models, and WWE was trying to mold them into wrestlers instead of bringing in wrestlers from the indies. Now, Trish Stratus was a model before going into WWE. She was a fitness model, but she really learned her craft very well, and she was a rare exception to the general rule. Most of the women that came in as models just didn't adapt to WWE at the level that Trish Stratus did. All right, this one comes from Dave 451985. With guys like Sami Zayn, Neville, and Sin Cara, I was wondering if you would like to see the cruiserweight division make a return to WWE. Personally, it's not a big deal to me that they have a cruiserweight division. I know some people like it, but I feel that it will also limit the potential of some of those guys. If WWE brought back a cruiserweight division, they would just stick those smaller guys in it, and that would, in a way, be a glass ceiling. I'd rather see Sami Zayn portrayed at the same level as anybody on the WWE roster, that he could compete with the big guys and be just as good, if not better. I would prefer that instead of having a heavyweight division and a lightweight division. WWE has done fine without the size divisions, and I think they should just keep things the way they are in that regard. I'd rather see them put more focus and build up the championships and the divisions that they already have. They really don't have divisions, but the titles, like the US title, the IC title, I'd rather see WWE put more effort into elevating those titles before bringing back a division. And, if they brought back the cruiserweight division, they would bring back the cruiserweight title. And I just think they need to get over the titles that they already have right now. All right, this next one comes from Seahawk Brohawk. Hey Aaron, how's it going? I saw a story online saying the McMahon family may possibly consider selling WWE. If there's any truth to this, who do you think would buy it and what changes would be made, if any? Please answer in video. Well, I'm not quite sure how this rumor got started, and it seems like every time there's some sort of bad news, these rumors start up. WWE just announced their latest financial earnings, and the network numbers were disappointing. And now I hear people talking about the idea of WWE being sold and everything's going downhill and they're going to panic, yada, yada, yada. I think that if WWE was really starting to panic, you would see it with the product. You would see them making serious changes. To me, that would be the clear sign. And I do not think that Vince McMahon would consider selling the company. He had his back against the wall with Ted Turner, and he continued to fight. He is a fighter. The McMahon family, they are fighters. They are very stubborn. Even when the chips are down, they are going to continue to fight. And if things got really bad in WWE and they were losing a lot of money, you would see a drastic change with the product. You would see them taking chances that they haven't taken in a long time. That would be the sign that things were really starting to get desperate. Obviously, they got issues with the network. The numbers are not what they were hoping. They need to work on it. They're cutting costs. They're doing what they need to do. And I think that they will be fine in the long run. And I got this question here from Mercury Champion. In your opinion, if fans are talking more about what's maybe happening in the future than what is happening right now, does it mean that WWE is not doing very well? Fans are bored at the moment. Well, for me personally, I'm bored with the product. This is how it usually is around this time of year, though. And people tend to talk about WrestleMania because that is the most exciting time in WWE. Usually around September and October, it's very slow. And fans start speculating about WrestleMania just to keep themselves entertained. WWE usually does this pattern, and they slow down a bit during the fall. I think that, once again, if WWE really felt like they needed to get something going, you would see a drastic change in the product. You would see a John Cena heel turn if they felt they really had to do something to get people interested in WWE. If they feel that business is okay and they're doing what they need to do, they're just going to stick to their normal routine and not take chances when it's not necessary. So yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean WWE is doing bad right now. It just means that they feel they don't need to produce the kind of product that they produce around WrestleMania time. WrestleMania is their biggest show of the year. That's their big cash cow. And they can, in a way, run on a treadmill right now until they get to WrestleMania season. All right, this last one here today comes from Knowledge Allah. With the WWE Network waiving the 6-month commitment, do you think more people will subscribe? Please answer in video. I think that if anything, this idea of waiving the 6-month commitment will backfire on WWE because fans can just subscribe to the WWE Network for 3 months out of the year. They could subscribe January for the Royal Rumble, April for WrestleMania, or March, and then August for SummerSlam, and then they can just cancel the subscription. And for those 3 months when they do have the network, they can catch up on all the pay-per-views and all the original content or whatever and not have to pay for a full 6 months or a full year. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't know if there's anything WWE can do at this point to get more people to subscribe. I mean, some people have speculated that WWE could, as I mentioned a few minutes earlier, change the product, do something drastic to boost up network subscriptions. And I think that if WWE really needed to do that, they would. If their backs were up against the wall that badly, they would make some serious changes. If we see the usual WWE product this coming month in November and December, then it just goes to show you that they're not panicking all that much, and everything you're hearing about WWE possibly being sold or something else happening or going out of business, any of those things, it's just mass hysteria, and it's just people overreacting to the network numbers. So that'll do it for this edition of NoDQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching. Check out NoDQ.com for the latest in WWE and TNA, and I will see you guys next time for another edition of NoDQ&A video.